Welcome to the Steve's Wrestling Podcast. I am Luke Hoffman, along here with the man Christian,
What's going on?
along as well with James, or also called Yamez,
How's everybody doing?
and I am also here with Kieran, as we call him Serial for no reason.
How's everyone doing tonight?
So this is the first ever Steeds podcast, and we are here to review the two pay-per-views that happened just this weekend. We have WarGames from NXT and WWE Survivor Series. So I guess we'll kick it off with WarGames with the 7-second Matt Riddle Cassius Ohno match. Basically,
It was nice.
just a it was a smart decision.
It was nice to see Riddle come in.
Yeah, it was a smooth way to bring him in. Nice little burst over Cassius Ohno.
And it sets up their feud. Cassius Ohno being a heel. He's actually really good as a heel.
I think I missed that.
I enjoy him. I enjoy it
He's
as a
very
heel.
good as a heel right now. Big fan of him as a heel.
My only concern is he's been down there for so long. So I don't know what their plans are, if they're just gonna kind of keep him down there as like the NXT Big Show.
That's what I was thinking. Like, you just turn him as a big heel to face new people.
Yeah, he's been like over the past year, he's been heel to face like 6-7 times.
Yeah,
I
he
think.
switched a few times. Heel to face, heel to face.
Yeah,
But much better as a heel, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, much better as a heel, but the concern is like how much are you going to switch him before you decide that it's like, all right, maybe we should bring him up and actually do something with him.
True. They just brought up
Bring him
Lars
up.
Sullivan, so
What are they gonna do with him?
exactly.
I mean, that's
Same
the
thing as
whole
this.
concern.
Flip,
But I mean,
switch, fight
how much are you
heels,
really,
fight faces.
how much are you really doing with him down there though? You know, how much more can you do up on the main roster?
That's true.
I mean, you got a lot more talent going on up there. I mean, a lot more freedom on NXT, but he's not exactly there for freedom anymore. He's kind of there for heel face to put people over, I guess. Seems like. So, I mean, basically, I guess that match was just to kind of put Riddle over, bring him in, get him noticed
Yeah,
a
got
little bit
him
more.
introduction to the crowd.
Should I watch
Nice
that
little
match? Like,
kickoff
was,
show.
it, was it worth me going back and watching it at all or no? 'Cause I don't think I saw it.
Yeah, I
5
mean,
seconds.
It's
It was
fine.
7 seconds. Wiki has it listed at 7 seconds.
It's all right. It's not worth my time. Gonna go. I mean, I can watch. I can look it up at that point.
It was a beautiful
Uh,
move.
Yeah, it was a
it
smooth,
was
nice, easy.
smooth move. I
It
mean,
was
let's just
actually-
get started
For
there.
7 seconds though, it was a good story.
Yeah, it built it up.
It was nice. It was good.
But I mean, if we're being honest here, that whole NXT show was built around knee strikes. I mean,
Yeah, we'll eventually get to all of it though.
jeez,
All right, so
every match.
since there's not much to talk about in the 7-second match, let's move on to what happened next. Is the 2 out of 3 falls to the Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane for the NXT
I thought
Women's
it was
Championship. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a solid match. My
Definitely
only
thought
problem
it
with
could have been better.
it could have been better. I couldn't keep my interest on it. I don't know. There was just times where it was just kind of slow for me.
Would you say it was better than the Evolution one or no?
No.
No, that Evolution was very good.
Me and
Fair.
Christian saw
Yeah.
them fight twice live, and that was
Yeah, we saw them at the
how good
NXT
both of them
Takeover in
were.
Brooklyn, and that match was absolutely amazing. Without
Yeah,
any
wow.
interference.
But this one was more for story build than actual
Yeah.
match content.
Yeah, this one had
Yeah, you can
definite
clearly
more
see
story.
this was made for a 3-on-3.
I definitely.
You know,
Yeah, this was to bring
Go on.
something into like a
gonna-
next pay-per-view or like Rumble weekend kind of thing.
And it introduces the two from MMA,
Does.
Rousey later on. So
Yeah, it did
I feel
did
it
help
was more of just a
introduce.
story booster than an actual match.
But you know what? Like it was even like as a match
It was
though.
still a good
The
match.
spots were still solid. I didn't really see any major botches or anything that I can remember of. I don't know if you guys
No.
caught anything that I missed.
I don't remember any major botches. that moonsault from Rio Shirai, that was the probably one of the best moonsaults I've seen up until later on in the night by
Yeah,
Rio.
that was a
But that
smooth.
in Gene off the turnbuckle, like that was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, no, that one was definitely a smooth moonsault. It makes me happy to see like them getting out there and kind of making their own things. I mean, I
Her
guess like one
her
of my only
elbow was
problems
ridiculous.
was her elbow is her own thing, and I really enjoy it.
It is sick.
It's
Nasty.
that quote unquote macho man elbow that she has turned into the Kyrie Sane elbow in all reality.
Yeah, it is the dirtiest elbow
Oh my
that I've
God,
seen.
it's like the phenomenal
Wild.
forearm of female wrestling. All reality, I mean. So yeah, so basically Shayna Baszler, I have such trouble pronouncing that name for no reason. Ended up taking that match 2-1 on that one. You know, I thought the match was longer. It was only like 11 minutes.
Who's she
Yeah,
feuding with
no, it
after
was
that?
really short.
They're probably gonna keep this feud going.
Yeah, it's probably gonna go 3-on-3.
Yeah, they're gonna do the 3-on-3 and then continue on. Kyrie's probably gonna get one more shot, and then I think that I got a feeling they might call Shayna up after this.
Yeah, I was surprised that she won it. Like in my predictions, I said Sane because I thought they were gonna bring up Baszler and those two.
Well, the reason why Shayna won it was so that they can promote the four horsewomen of MMA now
Yeah,
a little bit more because I mean, what they just kind of came in at Evolution and no one knew what was going on really. So this was just to kind of promote them a little bit more.
they're
All right,
probably dropping that.
so we're gonna get moving on to I believe Christian's favorite match, the Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano.
No, that was not my favorite match.
Really?
That
That
actually
was
wasn't.
well, all
That
right.
match was very good, but it was not my favorite.
I enjoy this match. I have one major problem with this match, and this is why I could not give it a 5-star rating. Aleister Black should not be selling Johnny Gargano the way he was. He's twice his size. There's no reason he should be selling
Well,
like
that's Johnny
oversized.
Gargano's character.
True.
In total, he's always been the little dude
That can
up against
fight,
the
yeah.
bigger man. And
But
Aleister
it's
Black was once the big dude that was undefeated.
that's what I'm saying though, is that it's like
But he's not
Aleister, don't get me
undefeated
wrong,
anymore. That's the thing. He's not
but he
undefeated.
still
They just
shouldn't
didn't need
be
to beat
he
him.
still should be using his size better.
I feel like he used it a good amount. I definitely
He
feel like they did spots where you could see where Gargano was clearly a
Some
little
of
bit
those spots were
smaller than
really good.
Black. I thought it was very good, but it was not my
Spots
favorite.
If
My
if there
favorite
if
match
there
was
wasn't war
Ciampa
games on the night,
Dreamer.
that would have been my favorite match on the card, without a doubt.
That still wasn't my favorite match. Dream and Ciampa was my favorite match.
I
That match
I
was
think
very
I
good.
think Black and Gargano was better.
I
Nah,
think
that's not
the
my.
if
I don't
you're
like it.
going, here's we'll get to Champa and Dream in a minute, but if you're going, it depends on how you look at the match because if you look at it as like a storytelling
100%
match, Gargano Black absolutely dominated Dream Champa.
psychology in it.
Yeah, like there
Absolutely
was
amazing.
just so much between Johnny sitting down and then begging for the Black Mass
Oh,
and
that
vice
was
versa.
good.
Like it was
No,
just
that's why it
there
was
was,
great. Him sitting there begging for it.
and
I
then just
mean, Gargano sitting there asking for all that, and Black just sitting there waiting for Gargano to give him that knee
yeah,
and
and
missing.
then just
It's perfect.
pulling it away, and then vice versa,
Perfect.
switching it back around is just
It was perfect. That's
absolutely
why I liked
wonderful.
it.
It's beautiful storytelling. There was
The
I mean,
storytelling was good.
like one of my main things though is as like NXT, they're still kind of coming into the company. I mean, obviously they've been wrestling for years upon years, like prior
I
to
mean,
this,
yeah.
but like they're still coming in. WWE is its own company. As you come in, it's more corporate, quote unquote. But so it's like they got their own rules and own ways that you have to follow. It's not the same as New Japan, Ring of Honor, and all the other indie or the bingo halls
What
and
was
all
the
stuff like
big
that.
spot out of that match? I can't remember what the big spot was.
There wasn't really a huge spot. It was just the
suicide dive
storytelling.
from Gargano out to the outside with Black nailing him with a knee.
That's what it was. That's what I was.
Oh yeah,
I knew there was
Perfectly
something crazy.
timed knee, which was
yeah. That was
amazing.
that one was crazy.
They
No,
had a
I
lot of good
definitely.
spots in that match. A lot of good spots in that match.
Yeah, they had there was a solid connection too. There was a
That knee was
chemistry that
absolutely
like
disgusting.
Oh,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Both of the black matches were absolutely solid, sold beautifully.
Beautifully put together. Especially the way Gargano like just was letting himself be
No, he was
held
just
up
dead.
by
He was just dead.
Black, and he just didn't move, and then he just threw him back and just
that was
It
great.
caught him
was,
again.
it was a
That
beautiful
was
sell
just
by
oh
both.
god.
I mean,
Black
they're
saying
two
I
of the top
absolutely
that they
love
have
you.
right now.
Yeah,
There's just so
easy.
much talent down there that there's only so much you can do.
Yeah,
I just hope they don't come up anytime soon.
There's no need to bring them up anytime soon. The only one that
That's what
would
I'm
come up
saying. I hope they
anytime
don't.
soon would be Black.
Killing it down there.
Would be someone who would come up soon. But there's
Yeah.
just no need for it.
You know what
He
I could
still
see them
needs his
doing though?
rematch
I could
against
see
Ciampa.
them pulling up Gargano and doing not like soon, like after Mania.
They can't do anything right now because it's literally the same thing as Daniel Bryan. Same
That's
thing.
exactly it.
It's
That's
the same
exactly
thing.
it.
You
That
can't
is
bring
the
It
it up
story that
actually
they
to
is.
would
anyone.
do.
You did the same thing just on a different program.
Yeah.
You did
Well,
the
that's exactly
same
what they would do.
exact
As soon as they bring them up.
storyline based on SmackDown and NXT. It's the same thing. Same
Yeah.
exact thing. Bryan is in the same spot as Gargano, except Bryan is currently your champion.
Yeah,
I mean,
basically.
that's the only difference. Realistically,
gonna-
Bryan went heel,
Once
same around time Gargano went heel.
once Bryan loses a champion, I think they're gonna bring up Gargano, and that's gonna be the first rivalry with Gargano.
I could see that, but you got to wait for one of them to obviously make a face turn before you can do
So that's what I'm
anything.
saying. It's gonna be after Mania. It's probably gonna be Gargano to go face, as long as Bryan sticks with this beautiful heel work that he is doing.
Yeah, he's done really good with it. Very good.
But yeah, it'll be Gargano to go back to face because Gargano is just this underdog babyface.
But then
Bryan
again,
ki-
so is
Well,
Daniel Bryan. He's
Daniel Bryan kind of
also
lost it though because of that injury, which sucks. Like, I mean, everyone still loves
lost a
him,
lot
but
through that injury. But then when he came back, did you ever think we'd actually see a heel Daniel Bryan ever
no,
again?
but I'm so happy about it.
Let's get on to
I didn't think we'd
the
ever
next
see
match.
that.
Yeah, all right. So we got coming up because James is pushing us forward.
That's my favorite match.
We got
We're getting off
Christian's
topic.
officially claimed match, officially
Yeah,
claimed
Dodo
favorite match. We got
is
Tommaso
absolutely
Ciampa versus Velveteen Dream for the NXT Championship. Christian, I'll let you start off on this one just because you're ready to go.
I thought that match was very good. I thought everything about that match was good. Sold beautifully. Storytelling was beautiful about it. I thought it was a very solid showing by both of them, selling wise, and the spots were absolutely amazing. Spots were beautiful.
The way I think one of my kind of torn parts. I enjoyed the way that they did it. I don't enjoy the fact that they did it because we all know my issues with the comparisons. Is the Velveteen Dream using the Hogan and Stone Cold and all the old-fashioned moves? I get it. I get that Hollywood playthrough, but I hate that you're allowing the comparison, and that gives me a couple issues. But the match as a whole between selling, like Christian said, the selling, the spots, the actual physical work towards it was just beautiful. And
God,
especially
it's so funny when he came out as
especially
Hollywood Hogan.
Yeah, Ciampa taking off his boot.
Yeah, Ciampa
Because
Ciampa
of
does a lot. I mean, the
injury
spots in
was-
that match. He's done that a lot though, where he sells his injury very
Oh
well.
man, it's
Very
so
well.
good, man.
It gets you to think, does he actually hurt himself? And then he finishes the match. He sells his injury very well. And Velveteen did
crazy.
his job selling,
Yeah,
especially at the end of the match.
I was about to say at the end of the match where he's just laying
Especially
there
at the end of the
dead.
match, where he just laid there dead for about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
These
didn't
Most
move,
people
did
would get
not
up.
budge,
He did not move at all.
did not budge. He just sat there.
What about when he had that drool coming out of his mouth?
That was the ultimate.
Oh,
sell.
during the,
I hated that. He
during the
thought it was
headlock?
disgusting, but it was the ultimate sell.
I enjoyed,
Literally
I did
rip out of
enjoy
your
the
mouth.
selling factor to it. and he made it seem like he
I mean,
was
I would like to
dead,
think
man.
it was a cell and that it just wasn't
He's
actually.
rubbed it in his face.
Yeah, just on
Oh
accident.
man, that was aggressive. That was unnecessary. That
And
was
that's the
not
heel
needed.
thing to do. The heel thing
Oh
to
yeah,
do.
that's
He wants
exactly
to
why
put
Ciampa's
himself as the
champion.
best heel. Just rub the
Ciampa
man's
is
spit in his
His
champion
his
for
championship run has been amazing.
it's brilliant. It's brilliant. It changes for every match that he has. He kind of gets like this small sub character for every person that he goes against. And it's just this different level of aggression. It's so nice. Just the way he works with it is beautiful.
Speaking of him being a heel, him throwing the papers at Ronaldo when he kept
Oh my
talking about
God.
him and Gargano, just threw the papers and told him to shut up in his face. That was the
Oh,
funniest. I was dead.
that was
I was
great.
dead.
Then the next night
That
he
was
was on
good.
Twitter. Next night he was on Twitter. He posted, "Keep your biased comments to yourself."
Yeah. He also posted to Dave Meltzer, 5-star
Yeah, he
match.
did.
Oh, that
5-star
Which,
match.
I
Dude,
mean,
he is his
he's a heel.
heel
He's a heel.
commitment. His commitment is just absolutely
I
crazy.
mean, you knew how much of a heel he was going to be
such
when
a shame
he
because I didn't
decided to
start
keep
watching
himself at
NXT
NXT.
until actually the same night he turned heel and came back and hit Johnny with the crutch. That's when I started
That was
watching.
one
So I
of the
never saw Ciampa as a face yet.
sickest turns I've seen in a while. Very,
But
very
you know
crazy
what?
to say.
I'm excited. I'm excited for the possibility of DIY getting back together
Now that they're both heel,
now
I
that they're
can
both
see
I
heel.
that.
think it could happen.
But the only problem with that is now, do you have Ciampa keep the championship and they stay heel, or does Ciampa lose it and then they become a tag again?
Ciampa is
And
probably one of
Allison's
the
still
best
the
heels in the
OG.
company right now. It's ridiculous. He's too over. He gets booed whenever he comes out.
Well, that's the whole thing, though. So now, like, he's the top guy. Would you have him lose the championship for DIY to get back together? Would you not
No,
have DIY get back together, or would you just
Black
have
I
him
don't think
Black
so.
is still
keep it
OG
and then they
the
get back together?
the rematch. So, are you gonna have Black lose to him again and go up just like that and kill all of his momentum, or do you let him win and do what Asuka did and fake an injury and get
Nah,
back
they
up
killed
and
Asuka. It's
drop
tough to kill one of those guys.
the title so he doesn't lose like cleanly.
No, I would say if anything, they would. I think Ciampa would keep it and they'd get back into the tag team because they're both heels. So now it's basically Gargano helping Ciampa in any way, shape, or
Yeah.
form. Kind of like a Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens championship
I think
run,
you
you know?
definitely could do something like that with them.
Easy.
Absolutely. But I
Especially
think
like with
them
Gargano,
would
that like sneaky
absolutely,
powerhouse, you know?
yeah. That's why I think it would actually move a little bit smoother, I think, with those two.
Yeah.
Just
All right,
match wise, tag team wise, perfect.
let's start to move on. We have the main event of the night,
Best
the
match of the
War
entire night. Best
Games.
match of the entire night, without a doubt. I'm getting right into that
I
belt with Ricochet off the top of that cage. Oh my god, that was insane.
I'm scared for Ricochet. I think Ricochet is gonna get hurt.
Another thing with Ricochet, that
He's the
shooting
big
star press he did off the what's his name?
Hanson.
That was
Oh yeah, offhand.
he makes it look way too easy. Like Evan Bourne put everything into it when he was doing it, and Ricochet's just out here doing it like it's nonchalant.
He's so smooth with it.
It's
I like
ridiculous.
the idea of where Bobby Fish locked Pete Dunne
Oh yeah.
in the cage with the
Storytelling
double key.
That was
He almost got
beautiful.
hurt in that match.
this one was a lot better
Yeah,
than
he
Black.
definitely could have got hurt in that match. Anyone could have got
It
hurt
looked
in
like
that
it
match.
looked like he tweaked his leg though on
It
that
looked
one.
like he got his
Yeah.
knee buckled.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
looked
He
like.
done. I mean, one of the War Raiders. One of those two.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Yeah, Rowe.
Yeah, that
I think Rowe. It looks like Rowe got hurt.
those guys are too big to be doing the kind of things they're doing.
My God, dude, I've watched Hanson several times and it still catches me off guard every time he does a springboard off the middle rope for the finish.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The fact that that's their finisher is insane.
It's beautiful.
That is insane.
It's
This is
just a
insane.
work of art.
Luke, how did you not give them a 5-star rating?
There is it's a spot fest. That's my problem with WarGames. Is it's just a pure spot fest. There is no real
Everything's a pure
technical
spot fest
wrestling.
in that match, though. But the spots only happen when you first come in. I feel like after that, it actually becomes a decent match. I mean, you know when someone comes in, it's going to be they're going to
Oh
have
no,
their spot.
well no.
But
Think
that's
about it
good.
though, because like at the like towards the end, you had basically like Mauro Ronaldo said the osmosis of the teams between the two rings. So Undisputed Era was
Yeah,
in one ring, and then
and
the
everyone else was
Raiders,
on the other.
Ricochet,
Yeah.
Pete
And
Dunne was
help
in
each
the
other
other.
up.
And
hmm
it's just and then they're just standing at the middle. Like I get the idea of that. It's kind of a stalemate, but like
That's exactly what it is. It's a
it's
stalemate.
just
It
it's just
was
that,
those
but like
four
it's just
against
like another
undisputed.
spot. You know what I'm
I
saying? Like
just
that's
feel
what I'm
like
saying. It's a spot
I
fest.
just feel like that was such a it was everyone versus undisputed era for the past how long, and then they
You know,
brought these four guys together to take down undisputed era. I feel like yeah, it was a spot, but I feel like that's more
The
like it
story.
was everyone against undisputed era for how long, and now you finally found out how to beat them, and it took four guys that aren't really a faction together to beat them. It's a
With
lot.
Pete Dunne getting locked in the
oh yeah,
cage for a
no,
longer amount of time,
100%. It's
throwing the
just
key
I'm
away.
just saying like my issue with the War Games. I love the War Games idea. I think it's beautiful. I think it's one of the greatest things that Triple H has ever thrown into anything WWE has ever done. I understand that why it's a spot fest because it kind of has to be. You can't really do it any other way. I just wish that there would be like a little bit more of like a one-on-one time, where it's like a technical bout, especially in like what they did to in this one where they brought in like the table, the garbage can, the candlesticks, and like the chairs and everything, where it was just
The
like
undisputed
everyone got
chairs.
yeah, that was beautiful. But
Let
like,
me just
especially like if they did that, so then it was like Ricochet and Adam Cole standing in like the middle of the ring with two chairs. They both just dropped the chairs and like gun for it like another match. You know what I'm saying?
well,
I
before
kind of
everyone
wished.
came in, if you're talking technical, like Adam Cole and Ricochet started, then Kyle O'Reilly came in, and the psychology of having 2-on-1, they teamwork the entire time until I think Hansen came in when he stopped Pete Dunne from going
Yeah,
in.
Hanson was the
And it
next one
was
to
just
come in.
storytelling the entire time up until the all eight were in.
Oh yeah,
Then
well even when all four were in there, it was still like a story told match. Where it was like where that stalemate happened, where like Christian said, it was that everyone's fighting against Undisputed Era, and guess what? Now they don't know what to do because they finally hit a stalemate with four random guys. Two are a tag team, but four random guys in all reality. Plus, they set up another good spot for Pete Dunne versus Ricochet.
Yeah, at the end there.
Yeah, where they were both just kind of like standing at each other and staring at each
That
other's
was
title
that
belts.
was good. What
But
would you be your favorite point from the match? Like if you had to pick like your favorite part, your favorite part from like each part of the match. Like in my opinion, my favorite part was when Ricochet jumped off the cage.
with
Most
that double
people's
back.
favorite part. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the biggest spot of the
That was
match
great.
is him doing that
What would
because
be your
last year
favorite?
was Adam Cole
and Roderick
and
Strong.
Roderick Strong with the suplex
Yeah.
on everyone. So yeah, I mean that's a great spot of the match.
Would it be your
Yeah.
favorite spot of the match, or would you have a different one?
Um, I mean, it's tough to say because obviously like that's the best spot of the match is him doing something like that the way he
Yeah.
did it.
I liked it.
I don't think
I liked it later on in the
actually.
match where they all went to their own sides and then they all met up in the middle and then they all started
I
fighting
think
Yeah,
again.
actually
that's
I
good.
have
That was
a
another spot I
I
really
have
liked.
a personal favorite spot over the double backflip off the cell or off the cage. It was Roger Strong. No, not Roger Strong. Kyle O'Reilly was on the table and had Ricochet in the triangle choke,
Oh,
and Hanson jumped off the turnbuckle and put Kyle O'Reilly through
he
the
jumped
table.
from the other ring.
From the other
Yeah,
side, the other ring.
from
That's
the other ring.
ridiculous.
He jumped from the other turnbuckle
That was a good one.
in. That was my personal favorite.
The crowd was booing him when the table when that leg gave out.
Yeah, that sucks though because it's not something that you can
That's what I'm saying.
control.
It's not even their fault. But we can get into that LA
Right.
crowd later.
My favorite spot wasn't even a spot. It was just a part in the match. Was when Roderick Strong and I think Kyle O'Reilly had, I think it was like a double submission on Pete Dunne, and then Adam Cole
Oh yeah.
and they called Bobby Fish had chairs and they were defending them, waiting for Pete Dunne to submit while Ricochet and the War Raiders were trying to get on the other side. I don't know. I
That was really
I
good.
was
You
behind
know
That was
one of the
very
most
good.
underrated parts
That was
about
very
that
good.
though was the commentary.
No, the commentary to the match was amazing.
No, no,
I
no.
mean,
Just
Ronaldo
like
makes everything perfect.
Ronaldo makes everything.
Holy
I'm
effing
talking about
mamma mia!
yeah. If you listen to that commentary during that spot, is literally just them saying like basically pushing, just like throwing Pete Dunne forward.
Yeah.
Like how did he not submit? How did he not tap out?
Well,
How
I
is he
mean, they
able to
have to
withstand?
because Pete Dunne is Pete Dunne. That man is
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh yeah. 100%. But
And
like
if
you know
you
what I'm
imagine
saying?
if you
Like
had him tap in that match that way, it's a good way to have him tap, but he's too good. He's too good.
yeah. No. Exactly. All right. So overall rating of the show, obviously we have all of our ratings on
On our
Instagram for
Instagram page.
individual matches.
But I mean,
Um,
it can't get anything less than a 9.5. That pay per view in a
yeah,
total,
I give it a 9.
I don't even think it's close. That's easily one of the best takeover shows I've seen. I would give it a 10. That's my personal rating. I mean, I know it's high, but I thought it was absolutely amazing.
I keep mine at a
It's
9.
definitely one of
James,
the best I've seen.
Mine at a
I'd
9.
keep it a 9. Yeah,
nine,
I'd say
nine.
9.
Yeah, I think three out of four would go 9. We got the 110 from
I'm
Kieran.
big.
Christian with
I'm big.
his
I'm a big boy.
Christian's a
I go
go
for
big or go
10s.
home kind of guy.
Go big. Fight me on it. Have an argument with me.
At me,
It's
I don't
10
care.
out of 10.
At
Have an
Steve's
argument
Wrestling,
with me.
find me.
Go ahead.
Let's go. All right, let's get moving on
Argue with
to
me.
The
Let's do it.
sad part of the
the
weekend.
the Sunday of the weekend.
Oh, worst pay per view I've ever seen. Absolutely horrendous.
I
I
don't know.
don't
I think
even.
last year's was worse.
No, it
Christian,
wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Christian,
No, it
I'm going
wasn't. Don't even
to
get me started. It was not worse than this year. Don't even
Christian,
get me
just
started.
because I know your passion behind this, I ask that you refrain from cursing.
It was horrendous.
Yeah,
Um,
It was
so,
horrendous.
so
Terrible
obviously
pay-per-view.
we had the
Honestly,
kickoff
I
show.
was rated a 3. And that's only because of the last 2 matches. And Seth and Kingston.
It's alright. Samoa Joe did good, Christian. Don't worry.
No, don't get me
Christian,
started.
Christian, we'll get to it. We'll get to everything. We are just gonna individually go through things. All right, let's do this. Hold up.
So let's start with the match that
So we
didn't
got,
count.
yeah. Well, we're gonna start with the match that didn't count of the night.
I don't
But
know.
we got the 10 on 10 Survivor Series Tag Team Elimination match
6-1.
that somehow went on for 23 minutes and
6-1.
didn't count.
6-1.
Oh God.
Give the blue brand respect.
I heard that the actual decision was supposed to be the revival one, and that's why they didn't count it because they were actually supposed to win, but for some reason no one knew that except for the creative because it was
How
supposed
does
to be a
that?
clean sweep.
How does that even happen?
I honestly don't know, but it was supposed to be a clean sweep 7-0, but because that didn't happen, they just disregarded it and just kept it at 6-0.
Oh my God.
What?
I don't. I really don't even want to talk about the match. It really wasn't.
I mean, we jumped
You
in halfway
involved-
through it.
You involved Primo and Epico.
I didn't know they were still in the company.
I thought they were with Lucha Underground, bro.
It's
genuinely
a very
didn't know.
forgettable match. Just with the
Dude,
rest of the pay-per-view, it's forgettable.
It was just not. All right, let's move on to
Could have been a lot better.
let's move on to the 5-on-5 women's match, which followed.
Oh god.
The one
Okay.
thing that stands out
Look,
How do we go from talking about one of the best
Hold up,
pay-per-views
hold
I've
up.
ever seen to it's so bad.
That
Look,
pay-per-view was garbage.
I
It was
I
one of the worst. It was
understand
terrible.
what's about to come with this match. We are going to talk about Nia Jax, obviously, because she is the main story of this whole thing. Survivor Series wouldn't even be talked about if it wasn't for Nia Jax. In reality,
She can punch somebody in the face and get a push for it. Like literally square up, punch somebody in the face. That was like right at the moment your top female wrestler right under Ronda Rousey, and now she's getting pushed for it because now she finally has the heat for being the heel. But like, do you really want to give her that? Like, she's not doing good. Like she messed up, and you're pushing her because of it.
well, all right. So let's just go through the match. Nothing really major happened. I mean, basically Nia Jax ended up being the sole survivor, and somehow
They let
Asuka is being
Asuka run
pushed
through.
further and further under.
She wins that, and she also
But
won the Battle Royale at
they let
Evolution.
her they let Asuka be the last survivor on SmackDown. They let her come back. So I wouldn't say she got buried because she was the last
She didn't
one
get no, she didn't get buried tonight.
made
But
a good run until Nia.
has she won since she lost to Flair?
I mean, she's just been doing tag team matches with
Has she won a singles match since she lost to Flair?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really. I'm sure she has. Maybe when she faced like the Iconics or something. But I know she
I don't
lost to
even think she
Carmella
did.
a bunch. So I
Okay.
really don't
No,
know.
anyway, thankfully, Asuka didn't get completely buried, but she's still not the company
The
favorite
dominant
right now.
force that she was last year.
Irresistible force.
Triple H builds them up,
So
Vince takes them
solid,
down.
terrible match.
Just notice how like I'm keeping my mouth shut more because like I thought it was horrendous, thought it was terrible. Don't even want to speak about how bad most of these matches were. They
Don't
were
worry,
terrible.
Christian. You'll enjoy this next one. This one wasn't bad. It was Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke.
Oh, I thought it was good. Thought it was good. I
This
thought
one
it was a
Very
really.
good.
I actually
Thought it was a
enjoyed this
solid
match.
match. I
I'm
thought
not.
mainly because Seth. Seth is a solid performer. Shinsuke more has to get into his own, but he hasn't done it yet. I just think Shinsuke hasn't been comfortable as himself.
Because they're not letting, I mean, the freedom that Shinsuke
No,
had when he was in
they're not.
Japan,
They're not.
which makes sense. But I mean, at the same
But as
time,
a
I
whole, I
mean,
thought he really proved he was well with Seth. Very good match.
it was a solid match. It
I
was
liked it. I enjoyed it. One of the
the
bright
way
spots of this terrible pay per view.
the uh the spot of come on between Seth and Shinsuke. I think they're gonna
I thought
start
that was good.
overusing that though.
Yeah,
They are
Hardy
because
did
they
it, and
do
I
it
thought it
with
was
Jeff
great. And then
Hardy
I
every
saw
time.
Seth do it. It's only a matter of time
That's what I'm
until they make
saying.
everybody else start doing
They
it.
do it too much. But they also did it when he was saying me no speak English, need to face. They just ruin his gimmicks. And it's sad.
It's hard, man.
It
I
was
mean,
the match started off very slow, but it really got good. It really did pick up. Cause I'm not a fan of very slow matches, but it picked up and it was great.
it did. It started to move. It started to you saw a connection between the two. You saw them start to get comfortable
Oh
a
yeah.
little bit more with each other throughout the match. It didn't really tell a story. There was really no stories to be told. I think that was one of the biggest problems with the whole Survivor Series pay-per-view.
Yeah,
No
there
stories
really
anywhere.
wasn't.
It's just who's gonna be the better brand, and even that they had a week to set it up.
You let Raw win every single one.
Yeah, well, except for the kickoff. But anyway, and then we have so next up we have the piss match between AOP and the Bar.
Back to WWE
It's not
2018
even.
is still doing this whole comedic thing with the man making him pee. Like, how much do you
It's
have to
not
pay
even
a
just
man
a
to pee?
regular man. This is the general manager of 205 Live,
That
a
too.
respected brand now. Respected brand. Now you make the leader of it, the face of it, be piss
And on
himself
top of
laughing.
that, you put it right before the actual cruiserweight match.
Yeah, like it's just a way to. I think this is Vince's way to just tell Triple H to just like keep what's it called? Be humble. I think that's it. Even though
Yeah, but it's like
NXT destroyed them.
they shouldn't be humbled though.
How much
Like
do you gotta
they're
pay a man to piss himself?
I mean,
I mean, the one takeaway I have from the match being good was when Cesaro spun one of the AOP members around. I can't remember which one it was, and then the other one jumped over the other. The other one jumped over the other one and hit Cesaro. I thought that was cool.
I do enjoy the fact that AOP went over in this match. They
Oh, yeah.
deserve more than that they're getting. I mean, you used to be able to say that now they're the tag team champions, but I do enjoy the fact that they went over. I do not enjoy how they went over. It just makes them seem weak.
You guys know Big Show was in that match? He was on the side over there.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, he's
that's how
their,
Drake.
manager. But
I think they're just trying to put Sheamus and Cesaro in some like more big man matches. Just trying to make another faction. Trying to do something with Big Show before he retires.
Or until Sheamus or Cesaro get out of there. It's only a matter of time until Sheamus is done.
I think, okay, hear me out. I think that's going to be Mania.
I could see
I
it.
think they're,
I could see
I would
it.
think they're going to break them up, and they're going to fight at Mania.
I don't know what WWE is gonna do with Cesaro.
Cesaro's older. So is Sheamus, actually. So, I mean, they don't have much
Sheamus
else.
has got, from what I read, he's got neck injuries that no one's talking about.
Exactly, so you have one more big Mania for Sheamus.
Possibly, yeah.
I mean, think the best of 7 series was an absolutely beautiful thing. Even though Mick Foley was somehow involved in it, but nonetheless. Yeah, so anyway, basically, I believe personally to come out of that match is AOP looked weak. They went over, still looking weak, and they just don't know what they're doing with the bar anymore.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to the AOP. Like this, I thought this was gonna be like their show out match on the main roster because
That's
since
exactly
it's
what
been
I
brought
thought it was
up,
going to be. I
they
thought that they
haven't
were going to
had
go
very
over in this
complicated.
match.
This is the first time they had a good tag team to face, and they
Yeah.
ruined it. They blew their
And
opportunity.
this is going to be the last time that they have a good tag team to face.
Yeah, because that Raw division is horrible. But
You got
anyway,
Gable
we'll
and
stay on
Rude,
topic.
which are going to break up soon anyway. Like, that's not even... No, what it... Anyway. So moving on, we have the Cruiserweight match. We got Buddy Murphy.
Great
versus
match, absolutely
Mustafa
amazing.
Ali.
Holy crap. Oh man, that match was great. That's another great bright spot to a terrible pay-per-view. And it really
In my opinion, best
aggravates
match
me
on the
how
card.
the crowd is just not into this.
Oh,
And
LA.
I'm sitting in Kieran's basement losing my mind of how good this match was. So the crowd was absolutely terrible.
Did it get a This Is
I
Awesome
hated
chant
the
at all?
crowd, one
I
of the
think it
worst
did.
crowds I've ever seen.
It did once.
It did once,
It
right?
did once.
It got one.
But no,
What
they were.
happened?
It got This Is Awesome chant. But
Oh yeah,
most
yeah,
of
they
the
got a few
card.
of those, but they got the "This is awesome" chants on moments when like Buddy Murphy would do a suplex, and you'd be like, "Really, that's awesome," compared to when he just did a fucking V trigger to the dude's face. Yeah, that match is amazing. I
It was
love
really
both
good.
of
I
them.
mean, like
And
you said,
if
the
you're not
crowd.
watching 205 Live, you have no idea what you're watching because
Hashtag
it's the
205
best
matters.
thing right now besides NXT. Besides NXT, 205 Live is right up there.
It's
If you're
great.
not watching it, start watching it. It's amazing. Get into it. Buddy Murphy is one of the best we have right now.
Without a doubt.
Enzo Amore is no longer there or allowed
I
inside the
don't-
ring.
let's, no, we're keeping Enzo off of this. We're not getting into that. Leave him. He doesn't deserve to be covered right now. Now,
Yeah, no, this is
Epic
definitely
Mealtime
one
being
of
in the crowd. That was more impressive and important than fucking Enzo Amore.
This was definitely one of the better matches on the card, and it actually led to a rather solid kickoff on the show. In general, it kind of picked up from there. Crowd kind of got a little bit more into it. But moving on from it, I mean, we moved on to the 5-on-5 men's elimination match.
Samoa.
I have
Samoa. Joe.
lists
Samoa.
on lists on lists of what was wrong with this match.
Christian, how do you feel about Samoa Joe?
I called it in the beginning. I told Christian as a joke. I saw Joe started against McIntyre. I'm like,
What if he gets
Joe
eliminated?
eliminated really, really quick. And he says, I'll be really mad. puts two Kakina clutches in, then gets Claymore to the face. He's out. Christian starts freaking out. Stands up,
Christian went
flips the
completely
phone.
silent, and then Mike calls him and asks him if Enzo Amore got
Oh
signed.
yeah, no, yeah. Mike pissed me off with that. Yeah, that was right when I was aggravated, and the pay-per-view was terrible, and now I'm getting Mike calling me. So it was a very terrible night.
Mike doesn't need to be involved in this.
Instead of having the time of our lives the day before watching War Games, we're sitting here watching Samoa Joe get buried pretty much.
He really did.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I mean, the names that you have in that match, you got Shane McMahon, Jeff Hardy, The Miz, and Samoa Joe is the one that goes first.
How do you feel about Shane McMahon being in that match pretty much every single year?
You
When
can't
you
say
have
much else. Braun Strowman's
when you
been
have
winning for the
so
last
many
3
other
years as
guys
well.
on that roster you can put in that match, and it's always Shane doing his Shane stuff. Don't get me wrong, I love Shane. I think it's so impressive the stuff that he does at his age. But like I see it every year. Like I don't want to see you do coast to coast in every Survivor Series when you have other guys on this roster that could be in this match. You know, it's
Yeah.
I'm not nothing
You
against
know what
Shane.
it
I
is?
love
Because
Shane.
lately they've been going for nostalgia purposes. I mean, listen, the names in that match, Rey Mysterio's
It's not
good,
like
but
it's
in
in Saudi
nostalgia act.
Arabia. I don't know why they put it like that.
Well, yeah, but like I said, listen to the name. You got Bobby Lashley, who wasn't really
You
even
know who else wasn't there? Randy Orton
amazing when
wasn't
he
there
was
too.
first
There's
in.
a lot of guys who weren't there.
I have already decided that I've enjoyed the fact that Randy Orton was not in that match.
Really? I mean, I can see why, but
Yes,
just him not being on the
because
card in general.
there's nowhere for him.
I guess you're definitely right. Yeah, it was Survivor Series.
You can't really put it. You're not going to put him in the tag match. You're not going
No,
to obviously
you're
not
right.
in the women's. Just throw him in the women's. Uh, Seth Rollins, Shinsuke, AOP, Buddy Murphy. Like you don't have any matches for him. That's the only match that you could put him in, and he shouldn't
And
be in it.
you're right. It's better that they didn't put him in. Now that I think about it.
I mean, what you have? Look, you had an issue between the Miz and Ray, and that's really it. Everyone else was together on that, and they still
Yeah.
lost, but nonetheless. But like everyone else was together on that. You throw Randy Orton in there, and he just RKO's everything. And
Party looked like a Four Loco with all that. Like I love his face paint, but he really looked like a Four Loco there, like a blue Four Loco.
He's got to be finishing up soon, man. All right,
I hope I
gotta
get to
start
see him
moving
at
on.
Mania. got high
Ronda
hopes.
Rousey, the
That match.
Rowdy
Ronda
Woman.
Rousey was very. That's another bright spot to the match.
I enjoyed it.
For someone like you, Luke, who
we
was
all.
hating on Ronda for the longest time.
I look. Hold up. I did not hate on Ronda. I did not enjoy the fact that she was pushed as hard as she was, as quick as she was, because WWE wanted to make money.
Yeah.
Bugged the crap out of me. Chance to do something, and they handed everything to her. Even though that promo where she was like, "Oh, I don't want to be handed anything," she fucking got handed a title shot in her contract. Bugged the shit out of me.
But
She
then
had
she
a lot.
got
She
then
has.
she
She
got
still
beat
has.
up, man. She got beat up.
on the match.
She got her ass whooped, man.
Jeez.
She got
Charlotte,
her
Charlotte
ass
hit her in the
beat.
head a couple times too.
She
Yeah.
You see her ear?
Yeah.
consistently gets better, and this was definitely her best match. Take away her beating at the end. This was her best match because she finally had someone that could also wrestle.
Yeah.
Like, think of her last opponent, Alexa Bliss.
Well, yeah, that's why it was solid. She went up against Charlotte. Charlotte was
Wasn't
able
a
to take
Bella.
the beating, and then was able to give Ronda the beating of her life. I mean, that's for all the people that think that wrestling is fake. Da, 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 da. Take a kendo stick to the head.
Take a chop to the chest. Just take a chop
You
to the
know,
chest.
Ronda was
Take a
out
couple of
there
blows.
taking a beating with a kendo stick. Not one kendo stick, but two. She got beat down. Her body was destroyed. And I give
It
her
was
a
just-
ton of
What's
credit.
what's
for that.
impressing
Ton
about
of
was-
credit.
what's the most impressive thing about that is she came out on Monday Night Raw and had a match the next day.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
But again, that was just a way to say, like, she's in for the long run. She's able to take that beating and go out on Monday Night Raw the next day and actually compete.
Very
It was
impressive.
absolutely amazing.
Very
I thought it was very good. I thought the turn by Charlotte was obviously the biggest
I was not
thing
expecting
in the
that at
pay-per-view.
all.
I think that was the biggest thing in the pay-per-view. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming, but it keeps both wrestlers alive.
It
Doesn't kill any one of them. Doesn't hurt
It
them.
gives Ronda Rousey her
Realistically,
undefeated
Ronda
streak
wasn't going to lose that match.
still.
She wasn't going to lose
Well,
that match.
because
And
here's what
it's
it
a good way to do it.
is you can't have Charlotte lose because of the situation with Becky. Yeah, that's basically really what it is. And Charlotte's an A-game player. You can't have her lose, and you can't have Ronda lose because Ronda's still too new, too favorited. She's gonna stay undefeated until at least Mania. So you have Charlotte get disqualified, go off like that to the point where she literally snapped, and just you have a story from there that you're not gonna use anyway,
They
unless.
finally gave her use to turn heel, which is what they, I'm sure, wanted because she's a lot better heel than she is a
What
face.
does kind of make me nervous though is that the fact that Charlotte snapped is
Becky
that
turning
at
face?
Mania. No, because Ronda's still, or Charlotte's not really. It wasn't really like
Who
a
do you
heel
think
turn. It was just
Ronda's
her.
gonna verse at Mania? Becky or Charlotte?
I want Becky.
I think everybody wants Becky.
I think Charlotte.
The way it's looking now, yeah.
Just because Charlotte snapped.
But
Because
if
now
they put
it's
Charlotte
her.
on Raw and Becky stays champ on SmackDown, I'm 100% okay with it. The only person I would be
don't know
okay
which
with
one's
Becky
better.
losing that title to is Asuka.
Yeah, but that's not. Becky, Asuka's not going to touch that title.
Or we could just give back to Carmella.
That's a talk for another.
Yeah, that's another episode.
Not gonna get into
All right,
this now.
so after Charlotte snapped and scarily insane. Actually, speaking about the end of that match, the one thing I hated was Ronda apologizing. Hated that. Her walking up the ramp and like saying to everyone, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm
When she
sorry."
told that security guy to not touch her was hilarious.
Yeah, she was like aggressive with them and then like, apologized to the crowd. I get what they were doing. The whole like, "I'm sorry that I couldn't finish the match. I couldn't give you what you wanted."
The crowd. Oh, that's another thing with the crowd. Chanting Becky Lynch after that. Like,
The
but this
crowd.
crowd was so bad. Los Angeles was horrendous there.
One of the worst crowds I've seen on a
They're
pay-per-view.
genuinely terrible.
And I know the people at Survivor Series are not at WarGames, so I don't know what their problem was.
That's the difference. You get Takeover, you get real hardcore wrestling fans. Survivor Series, you get your average person.
I hate to bring it up again, but the crowd got more excited for Enzo Amore than they did for anything in the ring.
Absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
Horrible
Disgusting.
crowd.
And then here we
All right,
are.
let's move on. Let's move on to what I believe to be the shock match of the night.
I thought it was a squash match.
Brock
I really
Lesnar
did.
versus Daniel Bryan.
I thought it was a squash match. I thought the way it started, I thought Daniel Bryan was just gonna get beat up, done. And when Brock looked at the camera, it was like, "Good night, everybody." I was
my
dead.
God.
I
Oh,
love when
man.
Brock starts talking in his matches. It's so funny. His voice does not fit his body.
But you know what? Like, I thought it was gonna be a squash match too. Like, I mean, I watched it late, so
Definitely the way it started.
I watched it late, so
I
I knew
mean,
the result. But like,
No, the way it started was the same exact way AJ and Brock started, and I didn't realize that until the
after
365 on AJ after and saw how bad of a beating he took by Brock and compared them both. Daniel Bryan took the same exact beating that AJ took. The only reason why we're all freaking out about it was because Daniel Bryan had a broken freaking neck.
Yeah, the first suplex,
And,
you felt
he
like
took
you
a
felt
crazy
it.
ass suplex.
When you saw him pick
But
out Daniel, you felt
He
something.
still had the same exact match. Got his butt beat. Had great offense, but obviously Brock is not going to lose
Brock
that
took
match.
some
But I
shots
like
in that
how
match.
Brock took shots in AJ's match too.
He
He
did.
took the
If
same
you-
amount of shots in AJ's match.
if you go
There's
back
no
and
doubt
watch,
in that.
I think it was Daniel Bryan's first running knee to Brock.
Yeah,
He didn't
Brock.
eat it. He didn't take it. Like he didn't like eat it, but he sold it like a
Sold it.
mother-
What about when
Damn.
Daniel was stepping on his head?
Oh, he
That-
ate those. He ate.
You saw
You saw the red
Daniel's
mark on his.
boot
Yeah,
print.
yeah.
You saw his boot print on the side of his face.
Brock took it, and Brock's not a man to take hits like that.
Not without accepting it. They definitely talked about it prior.
Yeah.
There's no way that they didn't.
Like when Braun Strowman kneed him in the head, and he
Yeah,
Well,
no.
just punched him in the jaw.
Just
You know,
stupid
Brock
pop.
would kill him.
Yeah.
I
No, there was definitely
definitely
talks about
surprised
it,
me.
and
Definitely surprised me.
I think there's also more of like a respect factor there between
I still think
Brock
it
and
was a
Daniel
waste.
than there is between Brock and Braun.
I still think the match
Oh
was a
yeah,
waste in my
definitely.
opinion, but
Not
it
even
definitely
close.
surprised me.
Which match was a waste? Which
This
match?
Not
Wait,
this one,
at all.
He,
Brock and Bryan was a waste.
yes.
How?
No.
what?
I just
Explain how, because
I just didn't.
Please
Like,
explain to me how
I
this
found
match
it
was a
more
waste.
funny in the sense than actually being like a match wise.
How was it funny though?
Why? 'Cause it
I
was
don't
You were laughing during it, and I was wondering why the hell you were laughing. I don't
I don't know.
understand how.
Just watching someone like Daniel Bryan fighting Brock Lesnar, just
I
like
mean, that's WWE in a whole. I mean, Rey Mysterio fights Big Show and comes
I
out on
know,
top.
but I I just found it. I
Daniel
just
Bryan is the third best wrestler in the company, going up against Brock. Realistically, he shouldn't beat Brock.
that's what
We
I'm
all know
saying.
that, but he's putting on a good match. I mean, but realistically,
I
no one
mean, no,
should beat
like
Brock
I
because
enjoyed the
Brock could beat
match, but I
anyone in the
felt
company
like
by just
I just
knocking
felt
him
like
out.
because the whole leading up to the match and then the match itself and then
I
him
just feel
getting
like
thrown
there
around like
was
a
absolutely
rag
no
doll.
lead up to the match. There was no lead up to the match.
That's what I'm
That's why it
saying.
was
That's the
good.
lead up. It's
There's
just
no
all of a
lead up.
sudden AJ loses a title on a random SmackDown.
I'm fine with that though because that's exactly what happened when it
The
was
last
AJ
time the
beating
title has
Jinder.
been changed on a pay per
It's
view
the
was
exact thing.
Backlash by Jinder Mahal.
Yeah,
Like
well, that doesn't matter. You're talking about this match being funny. It was the same thing as last year. It's the same
literally
story.
the same
No one
thing.
talked about Brock AJ until the day of, and we got a good match. No one talked about Bryan Brock until the day of, and it looked like it was just going to
and
be Bryan getting his ass beat, and it turned out to
I
be a
also
good
was very
match.
skeptical of the match going into it too because Daniel Bryan and
Everyone
his
was skeptical about it. That you should be. The guy had a broken neck going against a man who does suplex, and
but like everybody
F5s.
was saying that
And Jason actually ate it.
he was going in there and just getting punished for not going the crown jewel. But I
Yeah,
definitely don't
but
think that was the case
even
after
if
the
that
match.
happened, he actually went in
That
on Brock.
that submission hold he
It's the
had in
same
Brock's
thing as
eyes.
AJ. I just think they
Brock
didn't
sold it
want
like he was
AJ to
gonna
look
tap.
weird against Brock.
So what do you
That's
think
all
happens
it
with
was.
AJ now?
Yep. I don't care what happens with AJ right now. AJ wants time off with his family. He can have that. He wants the same schedule that Randy Orton has,
Yeah, no Lagos.
which is come in every once in a while, do your job, and leave. And that's what he should get. If they don't give him that, that's ridiculous.
I definitely do not think it was a match. It was
no, this match wasn't even close to a waste. You had, I mean, I personally, like, I knew the result, and I had hope that Daniel was gonna win.
Yeah.
Like, middle of the match, I already knew the result. I knew Brock won, and I was watching the match, and I was like, holy shit, maybe somebody got it wrong on, like, Bleacher Report or Wiki or something. Like,
made the match very believable. That
they put faith in the underdog again. In all reality, is what they did, and it was just beautiful.
So,
No one expected Bryan to get any offense, especially after what happened with Braun and Crown Jewel.
yeah, so it was a big shock, and it was overall.
So I mean, it was definitely it wasn't even close to a waste of a match at all. Plus, it was a 19-minute match.
I guess. I mean,
It was actually let's see, it was as long as the women's tag match, or as the
Played Daniel Bryan being a heel very well. His little cocky self.
oh, when he was jumping up and down in the ring doing Lesnar's thing, I found that very funny.
it was good. It was good heel work.
Heel work. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen him as a heel. I mean, I saw him as a heel when he came in and choked that guy out with the tie. That's all I've seen of Daniel Bryan heel.
No,
I
he's a
stopped
great heel.
I
He was
stopped
good
watching
in,
after NXT came in.
No, he was good. He's always been good heel. It's just when he first originally went heel with WWE, they did it with Kane, which was unbelievably over with the crowd for the dumbest of reasons.
Yeah. But yeah, that's another topic.
So, all right. So, at the end of all of this, we know Christian's rating is a 3 overall, just because of those final couple
Yeah.
spots.
No, those matches they were terrible. It was a terrible pay-per-view, one of the worst I've ever seen, and only because Shinsuke and Seth and the few spots in the last two matches made that pay-per-view good.
Samoa Joe.
Besides the cruiserweight match, but I don't count the cruiserweight match because that has nothing to do with Raw or SmackDown. That's 205 Live, and it's amazing. Again, if you don't watch 205 Live, you shouldn't be a wrestling fan because
Hashtag
that's
205
exactly what
Live
it
matters.
is. 205 Live does matter and should get more credit than what it does. It's
100%.
pathetic.
All right, moving on, James. What is your
So tired.
overall rating of Survivor Series?
I give it a 4 out of 10.
All right,
It, there were parts where I really got into it, and then there were other parts where I was like, this is just disgusting. Samoa Joe pissed me off beyond belief. The way they just keep burying him. Ronda impressed me. The women's that was a joke. That tag team match was a joke. The fact that the men's tag team didn't even count at the beginning of the
The
card. There's
fact
like
that
a
the
lot of
tag team
things.
doesn't count, oh my goodness.
That's what I'm saying. There's a
It
lot of
drives me
things.
nuts.
There's a lot of
6 and
things that
1,
just
that's what the record
it's
is.
the
It's
reason
6
why
and
I
1,
gave it the
that's
rating
6
I
and
do.
0.
It's
I'm
because it was just
tired
a
of
lot
it.
of things were so big.
I would give it
and
lower
positive.
if I wanted to, but I feel like that's not fair to Seth and Shinsuke if I give it lower than a 3.
That's what I'm saying. I give it a 4.
All right, Kieran.
I give it a. I'm gonna go with a 5.5.
5.5.
Only because the matches I did like, the quality of match carried the rest to get more than 5. But that's it. That's as much as I'm going. 5.5. I'm gonna take.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I will give it a shock rating at a 6.5.
What?
Hear me out. Hear me out. I know it sounds crazy, but
Yeah, it does.
listen. Although the most of the matches were terrible, like Kieran said, the matches that were good, Shinsuke, Cruiserweights, it was they carried. But as well, the matches that were slapped together because of last minute needed changes ended up being not terrible. It could have been a lot worse where nobody knew what they were doing, millions of botches. Nia Jax going over because she won the Battle Royal at Evolution using, as much as I hate it, using Becky's concussion to her storyline is solid.
Oh,
I mean, it's just as half-assed as it had to be. It was pretty good for what had to be a half-assed pay-per-view. So that is why I give it the higher rating of a 6.5.
Whoa, wait, 6.5. Wow, you guys are beautiful. Where does that come from? Why?
I just
That's more than half. That's more than half.
I just went on a spree, Christian.
It's terrible.
Well,
It's
So
such a
this has
bad
been-
pay-per-view. It doesn't even deserve a 5 out of 10.
This
terrible.
has been the Steve's Wrestling Podcast, the first ever episode.
Believe me, there's more to come
appreciate
when
you
we
we're gonna be.
get this aggravated.
This is just a different episode because with Thanksgiving on Thursday, we like to, if we're gonna do it live, it's gonna be live on Thursdays here on YouTube, and if it's not live, it's gonna be pre-recorded on Thursdays and up on Fridays. But yeah, this has been the Trusty Steve's Wrestling Podcast. Thank you all for joining.
If you feel like
you all
hearing me
have a
rage
nice,
about
peaceful
nonsense, you're watching the right podcast.
Thank you everybody, and have a good night.